Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God Chapter 421 or Season 3 Episode 4. Probably going to keep this one kind of short because I feel like there's not really a ton to talk about, at least not compared to the past few chapters where they've been really long and we've kind of been in this mode of getting back into things and seeing where characters are and stuff. And yeah, this was kind of just a normal chapter. It was good, I really liked it. But at the same time, just not as much to discuss, really. Which I don't think is completely a bad thing either, because already just comparing Tower of God to One Piece or something, Oda takes a break every couple of weeks, and CU doesn't do that. And in addition to that, Tower of God chapters are generally much longer. So we're already not having CU take a break. I mean, he needs to pace himself a little bit. He can't just continually put out super long chapters or he's going to burn himself out. But either way, getting away from that and into the actual chapter, let's talk about it from the beginning. So we start off, as always, as nearly almost always, with the scene from the end of last time. So Snack Boy calls Bomb a little shit, and from there we get into the current stuff for this chapter. We have Rack and Mr. Mask. I love the throwback to Kun being Mr. Mask, climbing the tower. So all that was nice. We see that Rack can fire rocks as projectiles now, which is really cool and another nice use of his new abilities. And Kun is having visions. We knew there would be some side effects, but we didn't know that visions would be a part of it, or hallucinations or something. But either way, that's going to probably play in as being important to a story, but we'll have to see more for the future. That's why there's not as much to discuss this time around. It's more like, okay, we introduced Kun having visions, we get to see Yama, so we get to see these things, but we're gonna have to wait a while to see where it all leads. Bomb then visits Snack Boy on a ship, and he is talkative, not really giving Bomb a word in edgewise, attacks him, but is a complete jabroni. He's just... man, I was hoping that I was like, okay, Levy's a loser, but now we can see he's a member of this team. They don't talk very highly of him. Maybe he's just the weak link, but no, this guy was also a jobber. So he uses the snake spell, which is completely useless against Bomb because we've seen that spells don't work on him already. From there, since he can't beat Bomb, he just uses the hostages to leverage Bomb as an ally, surprisingly. He says that they know where Jinsung is and that they want to go with Bomb when he rescues Jinsung. So either they're screwing... It's confusing, but I guess there's sort of a one way or the other kind of way to look at it. Either they're screwing with Bomb and betraying him, or planning to betray him. They're just deceiving him. Or they actually do want to help him, and the reason that they're working for Zahard is that they want to take Zahard's funding and then use that to further their own personal goals. So he seems like a guy who's selfish but could be an ally. Either way, cool design, cool personality, but it's sad to see, and I kind of called it last week where I was like, last time we saw somebody who really liked to fight and stuff, it didn't really turn out well. So, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a negative to me. I was hoping they would at least be somewhat cooler because it takes some of the... I don't know how to put it. It takes some of the feeling of danger, some of the tension out of it. It just makes it feel a lot less heavy. But yeah, either way. From there we see that Kun is actually caught up. He's on the 52nd floor now at Madarako's floating castle. And Karaka and White are there as well. They approach the cage, which is, of course, Yama's sort of mothership head castle. We see Yama bathing with his bros, soaking with his lads, washing up with his homies. So, yeah, Yama just needs to tell Karaka, come on, grab a protein shake, hop in the bath, my man. He's just out here taking kids bathing with the most muscular ones. But jokes aside, Yama's design looks really cool. Like I said in the reaction, he somewhat reminds me of maybe I'm just remembering him incorrectly, but the silhouette of him somewhat reminds me of the Lopobia head, except the Lopobia head I think had a green color scheme rather than red. But either way, looks friggin' cool. I like the pointy teeth, the cool looking eyes, all of it's good. The spiky hair, everything was great. So yeah, blog post, stuff to talk about. This isn't really important to the story itself, but CU mentioned that he uploads the chapters on Friday and sometimes updates and changes what he uploads before they release. So yeah, just thought it was an interesting insight into how things work behind the scenes. He also mentions this is having to do with the story that C-rank regulars aren't going to be able to handle Bomb and he's going to be OP for a while. And I think that's incredibly, incredibly lame. I am totally against that. Because it's like if the Chunin exams came around and Naruto was just one-shotting everybody else, Genin can't stand up to him, that would be like such an uninteresting and boring story. If Luffy just one-shot all of the supernovas, and it's like other supernovas can't stand up to him, he's way ahead of them. It takes so much out of the story. It takes so much weight and, I don't know, tension. It takes everything out of the story because you're like, oh, Bomb's just OP. So there's no real struggle. There's nothing really there. So that is definitely a shame. And honestly, I was like, oh, this chapter was great. And then I read that in the blog and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't. Like, the blog post soured me on the chapter some just with that. I think having the main character be OP just takes so much out of your story. And it's why, like, late game, a lot of long-running shonen turn out to just not be that great anymore because things get too powerful. It's like, it's fun when a guy is struggling trying to kill his opponent, not when he's blowing up worlds. So, yeah, it really does take away from the story a bit. So, yeah. That's a big negative, even though it's the blog post. I'm not taking away from the chapter because of that, but for the story as a whole, that's a big sad thing to learn. He also brings up that I think we kind of could have told this for ourselves, but he brings up that Yama is older, richer, and stronger than Karaka, which is confirmed here, but I feel like that's something we could have already known on our own. So yeah, thoughts as a whole. I am disappointed that Snack Boy is also a jobber. I'm loving the throwback to Mr. Mask though. Disappointed once again that Bomb is so OP, but that kind of fits in with Snack Boy being a jobber. And I think that Yama looks great. I love the design and want to see where things go with him. So yeah, short one. I'd still give it 7.5 brobads out of 10. Because I did like it. I thought it was enjoyable. Not the best or anything. It was just a fun arc chapter. But yeah, I think the only thing that has me like down a bit from what I normally score Tower of God at is the fact that Snack Boy was beaten so easily and that he seems very, very lame now because of it, which takes so much out of his character, and Bomb being so powerful takes a bit away from his character. So, yeah, that'd probably be the negative aspects of it. But overall, just good chapter. Just normal weekly chapter. But either way, I'll end it there. So, like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. Tower of God, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you up to there and stuff for the channel, or I can talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us about this series or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.